And welcome to week 2. It is inside the zoo, and we are keeping things rolling here as week 2 is upon us. Steve Redmond, myself, I'm Clint Switzer. We're being joined this week by a very special guest. Last week, you had two starting cornerbacks, Chris Abrams-Drain, Ennis Rakestraw. This week, Jaylon Carlies, JC, the safety. Welcome to the show, man. Coming off a great game against Louisiana Tech and a big INT there in the first half, man. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, Steve, it's great to have you there. He has informed me before we went on that he is not wearing Pit Vipers. He does not support Rob Gronkowski in any way. They are not a sponsor on this show. We're all good, man. So, Steve, looking
if they
good.
Did sponsor, I might turn over a new leaf if they sponsor. But
well,
right now,
you look good in them. But how's it going, Steve? Good to have you back. Week 2. Man. What did you take from week 1? Missouri gets the big 52-24 win. Gave up a couple of big plays. JC, but other than that, stout against the run. What was it? 11 net yards on the ground for Louisiana Tech. Night and day difference, and Missouri's defense, as we'll get into, looked very good, as you would be a fan of course. JC, our man here, Steve Redmond, linebacker at Mizzou from 04 to 08. So takeaways from week 1, my friend.
And dude, I would say this. I think I should get a nickname like Uncle Steve because I'm so old now. Meeting all these young guys and watching them play. You said it last week. You were like, that was like 18 years ago. And I'm like, I was a freshman in college 18 years ago. It's terrifying. But nonetheless, we're here. I was proud, man. I want to say that to you, dude. I was very proud. The defense looked really aggressive. The things that I noticed were how we were swarming to the ball. I mean, like every time we tackled somebody, I felt like there were 3 or 4 guys there. And some more in hot pursuit, which is awesome because, just being a defensive guy, a big part of defense outside of being tough and physical is just effort. And you're not swarming to the ball if you're not giving maximum effort. So I thought that was great. I thought the secondary looked really strong. And I'm not saying that because you were on the call. Y'all look good. You had a pick. You boys was playing really well, man. And that's exciting. Because I felt like in the years past, sometimes we might be a little shaky, and it was cool to see our safeties playing so well. It was cool to see, our corners playing well, and overall the defense just getting out there and putting hats on people, man. So I was very impressed with the effort and the energy from the defense.
JC, is that something you guys felt tangibly coming out of that game that, Coach Drinkwitz said it after the game, what a difference a year makes? How do you feel? I mean, this is your 3rd year playing significant snaps. How did you feel about kind of this year compared to last year in that first game?
I felt great about our performance. There's definitely some things, like you said earlier, gave up a couple of explosive plays, but other than that, all around defense played a very good game. We took a lot of stuff. I would say our biggest part of what we did from last year to this year was we just saw what we needed to work on from watching a lot of film from last year, just reflecting on what we did, what we needed to do better. And we put a lot of emphasis into that this offseason and this spring. And I felt like it showed up this first game.
Yeah, it absolutely did. And, just talk about getting those 3 first half turnovers and what that meant, because, you get a pick and then you got Joseph Charleston taking one to the house. We'll talk about Tyron Hopper, man, because that guy, that's a whole nother topic. But just talk about getting your hands on the ball, what that meant and what that felt like to get those turnovers and just really swung momentum, because the offense started a little slow. Definitely Brady Cook and the guys picked it up and created an insurmountable lead. But those turnovers in the first half, yours specifically, got things going. The pick 6, of course, man, those turnovers kind of swung the momentum in the first half when it was still a game.
Yeah, I'm definitely always blessed to get a takeaway to help this team out. But just seeing how just takeaways from the defense just boost the overall team morale, just not even on the offense, also on defense as well. So when we come back out there, we're just ready to do it again, pretty much. We're just ready to see no teams get in the end zone. So just getting these takeaways in the first half just really shows what we can do, boosting morale for our offense. And you see what happens, what happens when we do what we need to do. Offense does what they need to do. And when we come together, it's a great thing to see.
JC, I wanted to ask you a question on that, man, because I know last week, so, we were talking about kind of my time there, and I was very blessed the head coach, the Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus, was my D coordinator. Dave Steck, who was on the call, was my linebackers coach. And I wanted to ask you this because watching you guys, all we ever talked about was takeaways. Win the takeover battle or takeaway battle, get the ball back, punch the ball out, scrape, whatever you got to do to get that ball back to our offense. How much is that something that you guys talk about on this team?
Well, we talk about it a lot. We have takeaway drills in practice where we practice punching the ball out, doing different type of mechanics to get the ball out. So we've emphasized it a lot these past couple of years that I've been here, and it's showing up a lot these past couple of years. Last year didn't go as planned, but you saw a lot of different takeaways and different ways that we were getting the ball, and you saw in this past game as well, with it just being the first game of the season. So the coaches emphasize it a lot because usually they showed us a stat. Usually whoever wins the takeover battle or turnover battle usually wins the game. So we try that a lot.
And guys, it's going to be important again this week as the Tigers travel to Manhattan to take on the Kansas State Wildcats for the first time since 2011. JC, I know you're not going to believe this. You were like 10 years old when that probably happened. So Kansas State and Mizzou, someone probably told you this week, used to be quite a rivalry. Steve could tell you all about it. It was a game that was very hard to win until about 2006. We reeled off several wins in a row. And then, of course, Missouri leads for the SEC. I mean, just kind of talk about going into that game. This is a whole different deal because Kansas State's a run-heavy offense with Martinez at quarterback, one of the best backs in the country, of course, with Hubert at running back. Just kind of talk about what the conversations have been and what the film studies looked like for you, JC, and kind of what you're looking for with this K-State offense, because we didn't see Martinez throw the ball much at all in that first game. You got to believe it's going to be kind of a mixed bag this week and a big challenge for your defense.
Well, we just kind of, we just try to get ready for everything. You can't really predict anything that's going on. You can go into a game, expecting one thing that could bring out another thing. So, we just kind of go over both sides, the run and pass, because you never can predict, just what they're deciding to do, because, you're not in their means of doing anything like that. But we're emphasizing just, just keeping everything in front of us, not letting anything get behind us in any way, just maintaining, their key players and different stuff like that. And I feel like, if that happens, we have a very high chance of winning this game.
That's good to hear, man. I know, being the guy on the call that has played K-State, man, it's not surprising that they run the ball. That's in their DNA from back when Snyder played. They got a great back. Martinez, I think 50 yards?
Right.
He threw. So, I'm expecting a physical game. That takeaway talk is going to be big. But what I'm excited to see is it's going to be a test of our physicality as a defense.
Yeah.
Because you can expect they're going to try to establish the run and really get that going. That's been the story since forever. First, I still have Darren Sproles nightmares from 2004 when he was the guy in the backfield and over the years. But I'm excited because we're going back to Big 12 country. I'm hoping our guys show up, not the team, but our fan base, being so close to Columbia. That should be a fun ride, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one for the fan base. JC, just you're from SEC country, man. You seeing these programs, a lot of them. You played against them now in your third year. Just the SEC, we like to say is a different brand of football. And do you feel like that when you practice that way, you play against teams last year, games against Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, up and down the line, that style of play that kind of gets you ready for a game like this, going into play a Big 12 team that's really run heavy and that tries to be physical at the line of scrimmage? You think that's an advantage for you guys playing week in and week out, that kind of competition?
Yeah, I can definitely say it's an advantage because, we SEC, it brings out the best of the best. My freshman year was the COVID year. So, we had a all SEC schedule. So, our first game, we played Alabama. So, we played Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Played George Pickens. Yeah. Harris. We played a whole bunch of different, the best of the best in the country, honestly, number one round draft picks, different stuff like that. So, just playing against guys like that over the years, coming in, you can kind of, it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off your back, just seeing, knowing that you played the best of the best throughout the years, you know, you can kind of just come to a game, you know, with more confidence, you know. That just kind of brings up the team too. Also, you know, guys that have been here, you know, we've seen everything that people can do. You know, we've seen teams try to run on us. We've seen teams pass the ball on us. We've seen everything. So now it's just a matter of, you know, stopping it all, keeping everything in front of us.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that kind of lays it out there. This is going to be, and this is one of those early season games that, man, like, there's no breaks. I mean, we'll see what happens with the SEC schedule. They're talking about going to 9 SEC games, which I think could be great for people like yourself, people from other parts of the SEC states. You know, if you're from Florida, or, you know, you get to see Louisiana, say Missouri would play LSU, you know, more often, and things like that, Ole Miss and things. You know, you want to have as many games. What's that? Oh,
is that Ennis?
Wow, he got the week off. Tell him tell him the check will still clear if he wants to hop in. So, man, this is great. I don't want to, before we kind of move on to any other topics, I want to make sure that I bring this up because, you know, we're partnered, you know, with Horns Down, Mizzou.com to do this. Horns Down Shop, you guys, that does a great job in providing NIL deals for you guys. And I just want to bring up, because we got some of the shirts last week, and we got JC, we got your shirt there on the right. That's pretty sweet. We got the blue, black, and gold, look, right? And
yeah, where was that one at? Is that always been on there?
That's a new one. And while we're at it, we got Mr. Joseph Charleston joining us here. So we got all 4 of us in the house now, so it's all good. Man? We've been grilling. JC's been taking all your minutes, but it's all good. We got you in here. How's it going?
My fault. How y'all doing?
Dude, we're doing great. Man. Great to be here talking about this big game coming up, talking about your big game. We talked about JC's pick. We got to ask about yours because you got to take it back for 6, my man. So what was that like on Thursday night, taking that ball back? You'd had one called back from a penalty earlier in the half. So close, and then you get your hands on another one, man. What was that? What did that feel like for you?
It was cool. It was really cool. It was just ironic, honestly, because that was like my first one in college, and it was also the same quarterback that we played. He was my first interception in high school too, so it was kind of cool and ironic that happened. So it was just real cool. I was just a cool moment and something cool that, you know, I'll always remember.
Well, you both our safeties here, both of you guys getting an interception that first game, and heading in here into this, we talked to JC about just the physicality of this game, going to play a Big 12 opponent on the road. You know, it's winning a road game is never easy. Of course, you know, JC was here last year, got a win against Vanderbilt, but man, going into Manhattan, going into against Kansas State, playing against a running back like Deuce Vaughn, one of the best running backs in the country. Just what are you seeing? What are you feeling about this game? And, you know, this, Coach Baker, man, obviously making some emphasis on turnovers, physical play, hawking to the ball. It looks like that this defense is night and day difference, man, from a year ago. What do you think?
For sure. I mean, obviously Kansas State's a really good team. You know, they're real physical, and, you know, they're going to play hard from the first whistle till the last whistle. But, you know, I'm really confident in our team, you know, on our defense and on our offense. So I think as long as we play our game, I think that the results are going to be good. But, again, Kansas State's a really good team, and they're not going to quit, and they're going to keep fighting for every inch, every yard. So, you know, we got to bring the same energy.
Yeah, man. I was and what's up, boss? This is Steve Redmond, man. It's nice to meet you. And congrats on the pick 6. Anytime I can see a defensive guy shine, I get excited, man. And y'all were shining week 1. And you know, what we were talking about earlier was just historically the physicality a K-State team has, whether it's them trying to establish the run or just the effort that they play with. And I'm excited to see you boys take that momentum from week 1 into week 2. And, you know, like you say, I think JC, the other JC, was doing a good job of talking about the variety you get to see in the SEC. You got teams that run the ball. You got teams that can spread it out. I played when I was there. We got to play an SEC team every now and then, and it is a different type of athlete. It's a different brand of football, man. So I feel very confident as well that we'll roll into week 2 and be able to show the boys in the country, what we're doing, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, that's strong. 8.5-point underdogs too, guys. And I don't know. I know you guys probably don't pay attention to that, but if someone like, I don't know, me were to put that in your ear and say 8.5-point underdogs, does that give you a little extra motivation? This goes for both of you. What do you think?
You got it first, JC.
I'll kind of say, it's one of those things where, everybody's not going to, have you as the winner in any game. So, it's just one of those things where you got to come in and play regardless, no matter if you're the underdog or if you're on top to have you winning the game. So, it's kind of one of those things when you kind of hear it around the facility and different things like that. It kind of gets, you a little bit more confidence going into the game. You just got to go out there and play regardless, even if you never heard that, you were 8 points on the dog.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, them is just opinions to me. So, I don't look into that stuff that much. The only time I ever really hear about it is when someone tells me about it, so I don't really pay attention to that stuff just because I know that's just opinions, probably all of us, we all probably been the team that was supposed to win the game and lost, and then we've been the team that was supposed to lose the game and won. So them is all just opinions.
That's a very good point. Definitely the case. Joseph, I want to ask you because, you come to Mizzou from Clemson, transfer over. I just kind of want to get your opinion just on the transfer portal in general and what your experience was like, and then the kind of the culture difference. You come from Clemson, South Carolina, all the way to Missouri, where I hate to tell you this, man, but it's going to be like snowing here in like late October, early November. Not every year, but I'm sure you've heard this. So just talk about kind of the culture difference, man. You come from Clemson to Mizzou and just what that transition has been like for you and what your experience in the portal was like.
I think a football team is always a football team. I think the biggest difference for me was just that, I had known a lot of these people at Clemson since I was in high school, because I was their first commit for my class. So, I had known them for years, even up until we got there. But other than that, I think that football teams, a football team, football's football. Everybody, everybody, like stuff that happens in the locker room. I feel like all that stuff is the same everywhere. So I feel like it wasn't that big of a difference for me. There's a lot more people here from the north. But other than that, it's not really that much of a difference. I think. Now I got here in January though, so I had already I had already seen the snow. It snowed about every other week.
Yeah, not proud of it, guys. I'm from here, and it never. It's not like I just get used to it, and I'm like, hey, we get all the seasons here. It's great. Now I'm a warm weather guy. I'm the one that I like to hold on to summer as long as I can, man. Like I'm just like, hey, I'm good with it being 80, 90 degrees for as long as it can. So, guys, we're talking about the defense. We talked about Coach Drinkwitz said in the post game what a difference a year makes. Man, you can see it.
Yeah.
Stronger, faster, all athletic. It's all there, and you guys did a great job. I want to ask you guys about the offense. Brady Cook leading this offense. We saw what Luther Burden had in store with that, like the best 5-yard reception for a touchdown I've ever seen. He leaves 3 people, in his path. And just kind of your thoughts on the offense in general. JC, we'll start with you. Just your thoughts on this offense, man. It really maybe started a little slow, but really picked up, found its footing. And, man, you got to love the grittiness of Brady Cook. And it looks like, man, the running back depth is there. A lot of playmakers on this offense, right?
Yeah, definitely. First game, that's on both sides of the ball. It's just first game, you got to see where you're at. So we definitely have a lot of special players on that side of the ball. It's a lot of talented guys on that side of the ball, and you got to see a little bit of it throughout the first game. We still have a lot of guys that can still also make plays, and they're going to make some throughout the season. So I'm definitely excited to see what they do because, we go against them every day in practice. We know what they can do. You know what I mean? We see them every day. We see the talent that they have. We're excited to see them as the season goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, what is your thoughts, man?
I feel the same way. I think our offense is great. Going against the offense in practice gives me confidence to go out when we're playing other teams. So I think that going up against our offense, gives me confidence, and our offense is great. We got a whole bunch of explosive players. Really, we got big play ability across the field. So no, yeah, I'm really excited to see what they got, what they got coming.
Yeah. And I apologize. I don't know what happened on that mishap, man, but I wanted to ask y'all this or tell y'all this too, man, because I agree with all of that. Because I'm thinking it's Brady's second game starting, right? He started his second start, and we hung 52 up. I can't wait to see offense start clicking a little bit more. And it reminds me of when we first started to take off when I was there. We would have offense and defense kind of going back and forth. One game we play good, next game they'd be kind of up and down, and vice versa. But once it started to click, once we started to figure out how to get our guys Luther the ball, Brady would settle down a little bit more. Like, it's really going to help what y'all do, because y'all boys balled out game one. And once that offense really gets clicking, man, I think I'm excited to see how we can take that into conference play and show the SEC what we got going, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good point there, Steve. You betcha. I got to ask you guys about Tyron Hopper. Freakish athleticism. He showed out in the game just like you guys did. Talk about him, man, because you talk about, transfers making an impact. Joseph, Mr. Hopper comes in, and he looks like at any given moment he could be one of the most athletic people in the SEC. What do you guys think about him? You guys practice alongside him. He's your teammate. You're right there. Man, that guy's freakishly athletic. We saw it happen. What do we make of this guy, man?
Yeah, he's a freak. That's the best way to put it. He's a freak, and he knows how to play the game, and he plays it the right way. He plays it physical and fast. So I think, his athleticism and his mentality is what makes him such a really good player, such a great player. And, I'm close with him. So, the love for the game that he has, he loves the game like he really does. So, I think that also helps. That helps. And, when you got all those talents and the right mentality, the athleticism and the love for the game, you get a Tyron.
Yeah, Tyron. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with what Joe said. I couldn't have said it any better. Like you said, he came from Florida last year, so when we were watching film, on different things, on different offenses, not even when we were playing Florida, we were watching another play Florida. We were watching their offense, but we'll see Florida's defense. We'll see him making plays. Then that's when we first recognized him. Then when we figured out he was coming here, it was we already knew what to expect from him because we saw what he did. Also versus us just in general, and then what we on film watching other offenses. So Hop has a different game for real, and seeing him out there, he never takes a rep off. He's serious about everything he does. So, just seeing him do that, you see why he plays like that in the games.
Well, guys, we can't thank you enough for being on with us this week. Before we let you go, we were talking about this when Joseph came in, so I want to go back to the hornsdownmizzou.com. I want to make sure everyone goes there. And for people that are looking for a way to donate and to, there's an NIL collective called DB Zoo on there. Just click on it and you can donate. It goes to these guys. It goes to helping make sure that these guys get financially compensated, man. And that's a big part of today's college football situation. So you see the shirts there, and I'm told we got JC, we got his there. He's got the Superman shirt. We got the bleed black and gold. We got the Hoko Como. I'm told, Joseph, this week or next week we got a Joseph Charleston shirt coming up. So can you confirm or deny that?
Nah, yeah, for sure. It's definitely in the process of getting made and coming to life. Got to throw some ideas out there and see which ones we like the most, but definitely coming soon.
Could we get one? We need one with you two in it together. I mean, you're our starting safeties here at Mizzou. We got to come up with a nickname for you guys. See, like, I'm a big wrestling fan from back in the day, as you guys can tell here. Okay, so the go-to, and I think back then, Steve, like on your team, we had like, did we call the tight ends, like, did we call them like the Legion of Doom at one point? That was a pro wrestling tag team name, right? So we got to get one for these two.
Yeah, man, and I mean, with all of the guys, that whole secondary got to get a shirt, man.
Exactly.
Like, collective, all four of y'all up there, man, because we talked about this last week, and a guy that played at a different time where NIL wasn't a thing, and
he's not bitter, you guys. It's okay.
I'm not bitter. I promise. I'm not. I cry at night on my pillow thinking of what could have been, but I'm happy for y'all. Man, it's a cool opportunity to get yourselves out there and build a brand. In the age that we live in, man, where anything is possible. NIL is really showing what could be possible, man. So yeah, get them ideas out, dude. Get them out there, get them shirts going, because people will support it, man. We got an exciting team. It's gonna be an exciting year, man, and I think all of that helps. So
hey,
Yes, sir.
good luck, JP. Good luck, Joseph. This is gonna be a big one this week. We're gonna be watching. Thank you guys so much for being on with us, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I apologize again.
We'll do it again, guys. We'll do it again.
Right, we'll be back next week.
Steve, we got to, before we let you go, resume being full-time volleyball dad, we got to get our predictions for this, because it's really not fair to do it with the guys, when they're on the show.
100%.
We got to get our predictions here. Missouri's an 8.5-point underdog here going here. This is a big opportunity. I've got Kansas State winning this game by 7. Missouri covering the spread. I think this is one of those games where you're going to look at and you're going to go, man, a thing goes right here or there, a ball goes our way, a turnover goes our way, and that would have been a different game. I think it's so hard to go in there and win with the way Kansas State, a lot of people talk about them as a dark horse Big 12 championship type team. I think they received 18 votes in the top 25. I know it's hard to hear this. I know no one wants to hear this, but just a realistic prediction for me right now. My mind can change. I could be bribed too, by the way.
Yeah,
I've got Kansas State winning at 31-24. So what about you, my man?
Man, and I always talk about this as a sports guy. Like, I'm not a betting dude. I don't know what teams. All the folks that come up with the numbers and the spreads think. I think we're underdogs because we got a new quarterback, and they're looking at what our offense didn't do last week compared to what they're going to do this week. I don't think our defense got enough credit, which is fine. I see this thing going 24-14 us. I think defense is going to get some takeaways. I think they're going to come out, and here's why. Like I say, I'm a sports guy. There's no pressure on us. We're off the radar. And you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of 2007.
Yep, me too.
We came in, we were unranked, and we beat up on, I don't remember who our first game was.
Illinois.
We beat up on them.
Illinois.
Well, that was a good game. And then the next week we had
Ole Miss.
I think it was was it Ole Miss? And, they were some wins, and everybody's like, but it was Illinois. It was this. And next thing you know, we creeped our way up, just playing sound football, doing what we in-house know we can do. And I think this is that week where not only are we going to get tested, but we're going to show up and prove, more importantly to ourselves, what we're capable of, but kind of shock some people. So 24-14 Mizzou.
Man, I love it. I love to hear it. And I'm telling you what, I still have that 2007 schedule etched in my mind. I remember every game. 2000's week 1 in the Dome, and I missed that game against Illinois in the Dome.
That was a good one, man.
Dude, T-Rock with the drum, always bringing the drum out after those big wins with like the tiger stripe mohawk. I love that, dude. And then good, we went to Ole Miss, an SEC opponent, so kind of a reverse of this. And God, they had a running back. God, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Yeah, Ellis. Yeah,
right.
He was a tank. He was a tank, man.
That was I think Michael Orr was on that team too.
He probably was, because he's my age. So he was probably there. And then they had Pat Willis might have been gone.
He was gone.
I don't remember. He was, because I remember he played when we were in Columbia. He was on the team. So that next year he might have jumped to the league. But as always, like we were talking about, SEC, not only plays good football, but they're going to have some great athletes. And, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, he was a load. He was like 5'9", 225, every down back. I mean, and at the end of the day, I'm interested to see when you talk about that flip or that reverse. Week 2, we got a little flip side down. We got a Big 12 opponent coming in. They're run heavy. They're going to try to be physical with us. And we got an opportunity, like I said, to prove how tough we can be against a really good team. So I'm excited about it.
You're absolutely correct, Steve. It's been great. Week 2, I feel like we're getting in the flow of things. It's like we're like in mid-season form here.
Yeah, man.
Would you agree?
It's going to be fun.
This is great.
Absolutely.
Guys, we'll see you next week.
Good season.
It's going to be great. Well, Steve, we're going to let you go play dad for a while. I know that's that's a big part of it.
I keep seeing all these KU fans walk in. I might swing on somebody. No,
please do.
I'm not going to do that. I got my kids with me.
We're going to play them here in a couple years. We're going to be ready to do that. Steve, thanks so much. Thanks everyone for joining us here on Inside the Zoo. You can catch it live every Wednesday, and you can also catch it. It lives on, Steve, as a podcast each week on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's there. Yeah. So if you miss the show live, you can catch it. So go to Starcade Media, our Twitter, our Facebook, and you can see how to subscribe to the show. Go to Steve's Facebook and make sure that you follow him, and we can make sure you never miss a show, because this is going to be great all year long. Steve, thank you so much, my friend. We'll see you next week. Go Tigers, MIZ, baby.
ZOU.